to. Yeah.
I would say
I
so.
love
Would
it.
you?
I don't know. She's like, yeah, for sure. I would totally hang out with you.
Oh, mark it. That means snap.
Oh.
Go in
Yeah.
front of the mic or okay.
Whatever. Yeah,
Okay.
Don't overthink it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Cool.
Hi. Welcome to another episode of Between Two Chains. I'm LDF, and my guest today is Jill Gunter from Espresso. Welcome, Jill.
Good to be here. Thank you.
All right, let's get into it. Your head of research, Sabrina Carpenter, once wrote this about interoperability. Switch it up like Nintendo, yes. Say you can't sleep, baby, I know. That's that me, Espresso.
Yes.
Can you tell us how this deeply technical insight inspired the Espresso team's transition from a shared sequencer into whatever it is you're doing now?
The main thing I would touch upon there is we're inspired by the Nintendo aesthetics. Yeah.
It's
It was really influential on me in my youth, and I just really wanted to bring that into the Espresso brand.
wow. It's insightful.
Thank you.
It's deep.
Okay, Starbucks says there are 170,000 ways to customize a drink. For example, I like my oat milk latte shaken, not stirred, because I have standards, which made me wonder, what will happen first, 170,000 TPS or 170,000 chains?
I knew where that was going. Chains, for sure.
Always chains.
Yeah.
It's always chains. It's always been chains.
There's a lot of chains claiming 170,000 TPS, but I don't think it's real.
So the chains first.
Chains. Everyone
Always.
wants a chain. No one wants to make transactions.
She said it, not me. One of my colleagues, Cram, drinks 2 Nespresso pods every morning. One Peru Organic, one Shanghai Lungo. He claims Nespresso has solved espresso making. One button, hot, steaming, velvety perfection. Similarly, I'm declaring that interop is solved. Chains are connected, tokens are moving, data is flowing. So now what? Are we all out of a job?
Soon.
Soon.
God, I hope so.
Oh.
I'm tired, boss.
How much longer?
I don't know, a few more years.
What do we do next?
We
Don't
have
ask.
time for that.
Okay.
Not now.
Sorry.
Final question. We're filming this in Pisces season, late February, a deeply creative, intuitive time. So let's lean in. Assume chains have auras, which they obviously do. What chains are you most spiritually aligned with? And there's only one rule here. You cannot say Cardano, because that's everyone's answer, and I'm tired of pretending that it's interesting.
Oh, man. Bitcoin. I know, it's so lame. I'm a Taurus,
Final answer?
though. I'm a Taurus, and I feel like there's this really kind of aggro, bull in the china shop energy to being a Taurus, and I do feel like that.
Orange coin suits you.
Yeah, the militant Bitcoin maxi thing, like I'll be honest, that aura resonates.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel pretty shaken after that intro of hard-hitting questions, but I do want all of us to take a deep breath. And I want to officially welcome you, Jill, to the podcast.
Thank you.
Welcome to our collaboration with LayerZero and Rehash, Between Two Chains. I'm super excited to have you here as the queen of infra and the espresso mama.
Am I an infra girly?
You are. We talked
you know
about
that
this
about
on the last
yourself?
episode of
Yeah.
Rehash, remember?
Yeah, that's right.
Your
I
journey
never thought I'd
towards
be an
infra.
infra girly, but here I am.
But here you are.
It's like infra for infra too. It's not even just infra. It's not.
Tell us what
infra
that
for-
means. What is infra for infra?
Yeah, I think of it as kind of this new category of chain that is building for other chains. So like Celestia is in this category,
Okay.
right? Where they built a chain that's specialized for data availability that serves all of these other chains, all of these rollups, sovereign rollups on Ethereum. We're kind of like that. We are a chain that is specialized for interop, specifically to give fast and secure confirmations on transactions and on blocks, so that we can have composability between chains. And so it's infra for infra builders.
Infra's infra.
Yes, exactly. We are deep in the
Beautiful.
stack. Yeah.
Well,
That's very
on that
meta.
note, I feel like interop is a hot narrative right now.
Indeed.
Everybody's talking about it. What does interoperability mean to you?
Honestly, it means money Legos. Like I actually think that that's a really powerful image, metaphor, whatever that we use in this space all the time. Money Legos. it's not just about being able to make transactions between different chains and different domains. It's about being able to do way more than that. Like so much of what crypto has unlocked has come about because we have all of these applications that can just like permissionlessly interact, right? And when you're in a fragmented world, you miss that. And that's why we need to talk more about like things like message passing, things like confirmations, all of this infra for infra that's really deep in the stack, because that's how we unlock that composability back amongst all of these many chains. It goes beyond just bridging assets.
Do you think we have enough infra?
You can never have enough infra.
That's the correct answer.
No, in all seriousness, I do think that like if you look at the Ethereum stack right now, it kind of pains me to say this, we're cutting a lot of corners. Like things are not as secure, as decentralized, or as fast and user-friendly as they should be. So there's all of this like infra, like this is infra vaporware, this is just venture-backed nonsense. I don't
Who's
want
saying
this.
that? Who's saying
Angry
that?
people online.
Name them.
Shame them,
They're mostly anons, to be honest.
of course.
They're
Classic.
mostly
Always.
people with pitchforks who like want bigger airdrops from these companies. Which like I get that. You know, everyone's in crypto for their own reasons, but
I mean, who doesn't like money?
yeah.
Free money.
Can we call it money?
I don't think we have time for that.
Oh,
Spiritual
man.
journey.
I'm
We won't
curious
go
how
there.
your view of interoperability has shifted too, from previously being an app girly to now
Yes.
making the switch over to infra. Because last episode of Between Two Chains, we talked to Aditi and Nitya from Para.
Oh, I just saw them walking out.
That's what
I,
they
like,
were here
accosted
for.
them.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that's what they were here
They're
for.
the best.
But we talked a lot about interoperability from a consumer app perspective,
Yeah.
and so I'm curious, like how your perspective on interop has changed from working on apps previously to now being deep into infra.
I think that there's just so much that gets abstracted at the application layer. And I think that it's really easy to say as a builder, whether you're an app builder, infra, whatever, like, oh, like users don't care about X or Y or Z. Like users don't care about security, or users don't care if everything's actually just centralized under the hood. But I think that this is part of what drove me down the stack, I guess. Like, it's our responsibility to care. So, like, they're not going to care until they have to. So, yeah, I think that that's kind of how my perspective has evolved over time, is like, it's all well and good to abstract things away at the app layer, but yeah, it's our responsibility to care.
Yeah, I remember something you said in the last time I interviewed you on Rehash. You
Such
said
a good
something.
episode.
You said such a good
Very good
episode.
episode.
We D&D highlight of my day. Still haven't played. Have you?
I know. I have a neighbor who's really into
We-
Dungeons and Dragons.
That
though.
might need to be a quest for us.
Yes.
at ETH Denver
I feel
this
like
weekend.
we can accomplish this.
I feel like we can too.
this is doable.
Okay.
There's
let's
a
make it
lot
happen.
of
There has to
D&D
be.
coded people.
Totally, there
at
has
ETH
to be.
Denver.
But anyway, I remember something you said in the last episode was that for the end user, we talk about interoperability, but for the developer, we talk about composability.
Yes. Yeah.
Can you explain more of what you meant by that?
Yeah. I think it comes back a lot to what I was just saying about money Legos, where for developers, it's like Web3, crypto, whatever the meta is of what we're calling what we're all doing here right now. It's unlocking this superpower of being able to have access to this galaxy of free, open, permissionless APIs. Like you don't get that in Web 2, you know? It's like you're trying to build something, okay, you've got to go get like an enterprise contract with whatever, you know, software provider with whatever service. Like you can't just permissionlessly, openly compose the applications that you're building. Like I saw last week, Kato AI is obviously super hyped right now with like the Yapper airdrop and blah, blah, blah. And I saw last week someone posting like, oh, like we're building like a new social platform off of some of the just open primitives that Kato has built. You see this with like a lot of stuff on Farcaster, I think is very cool. There's an app called Anoncast on Farcaster where anyone can go in and using ZK magic in the background, they can post anonymously, like truly anonymously. And one of my friends, one of my colleagues, Ellie, posted something that used that and then also used this other application called Bounty Caster to post an anonymous bounty to, like, with a riddle, like, to discover her identity. And I think that there's so much cool stuff. Those are kind of like maybe more kind of like early stage or like game-like examples, toy-like examples, but there's so much cool stuff that's unlocked by composability for developers. And it's a related problem, but slightly different from that of interop for a user, where as a user, I'm like, okay, I just want to move my token from point A to point B. You know, that's how I at least tend to think of interop. So I don't know, maybe LZF, maybe we need to update it. Composability is solved.
Ooh.
It doesn't have the same ring. Oh,
It doesn't have the same ring.
it doesn't.
I was going to say, you've been a vocal advocate for the interop is solved
Yes.
narrative.
Yeah.
Why did that resonate with you?
I think that, okay, this is going to sound weird to anyone who's listening to this who follows me on Twitter, because I am such like a doomer critic of everything, I feel like, on Twitter.
Do you think so?
Really?
Oh, I get that a lot. People literally ask me, like, Jill, if you hate it so much, why do you work in crypto? And I'm like,
We
I
need
love it.
people to question things.
Thank
That's how it gets
you.
better.
Yeah, exactly.
I think
You're
your
like,
Twitter is
I
fine.
care.
Thank you.
Compared to other people, I think people are just being sensitive or overcritical
There's
for
a-
no reason.
People are very sensitive
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Where was I going with
So
this?
yeah, what would surprise people?
Okay. Yeah, I think a lot of people would view me as like being kind of a doomer or a critic, but I am actually an optimist. I actually think that,
Breaking
like,
news, everyone.
Yes, I think there's no need to be upset.
Yeah.
I think that things are going according to plan. I think if you don't want to work on hard, challenging things, like, what are you doing here? And you should expect there to be challenges. And I think that we are very close to having interop be solved. And I think that there's a lot of criticism of Ethereum right now. Like, it's fragmented, it's a terrible user experience. It lost, for the first year in its history, more developers went to another chain. More developers went to Solana last year than to Ethereum. Okay, those are all good things to keep an eye on. But I think that there's so many teams building for interop who are absolutely goated, like, just incredible teams. This is actually my favorite part of doing what I do at Espresso. We are infra for infra.
Yeah.
We're a chain of chains. I get to talk to all of these different L2s. I get to talk to people like you and people at your competitors, right? And like, everyone is amazing and smart and passionate and like building for the right reasons. And I think that one of the reasons also why people like to FUD interop and the state of it is that they're like, again, there's all of this infra and like, what is it actually doing? And like, you know, everyone just wants to like push their own protocol or standards, and it's xkcd.jpg, like that standards thing, that a comic that everyone always references, 99 standards, now we have 100. Okay.
I love that meme.
But we're not actually all competing. Like, we're all building different parts of the same product for the most part. And I think that is so cool. It's like such a superpower of Ethereum that you have all of these different teams all building different components of this beautiful thing. And I think that we're very close. It's really hard, but I think that we're very close. I think interop is solved.
It's funny
More or
because
less.
you and I have had a conversation about this before, where I think we described it as like, there's, if you view every single one of these entities as like a complete product, then sure, they're competing with each other.
Yes.
But if you view them as features that make up
Exactly.
a product, if you compose them in different ways, then like, to me, the thing we're missing the most is Optimus, because if you're sitting here complaining about what we do have, you're not really proposing what you need.
Bro.
And if you ask any of those people, right, like,
Yes.
what's missing? Like, what are you trying to build? What are you trying to accomplish? Like, that's why the interop is solved narrative started, because it was like, from a technical perspective, a lot of these problems
pretty
are
much
solved
there.
problems.
We just have to like put those Lego
Like, we need
pieces together.
people to
Yeah.
want to make something.
Yes.
And then there are all of these teams who are like glad to support, glad to even just work together to solve them. Like, of course, people like to point out that bridging could be cheaper or like routes could be better. It's like, okay, propose them. Give me a reason to
Totally.
put volume through this. And so how do you think about like sometimes infra can be an echo chamber that's away from, they're like, oh, we don't talk to applications, right? Like, no, we're just infra. Like we're unopinionated. Like how do we bring those people together?
Okay, you have to be a user
Oh,
first.
no way.
You have
Let's
to
not be crazy.
stop watching this right now and go do something on chain.
My favorite thing is
Anything.
when people on Twitter are like, there aren't any apps. I'm like,
That's such a lazy take.
there's so many
It's
apps
such
I
a
don't
lazy
have
take.
time to use all of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's so many I want to try and I just don't have time. What are you talking about?
Totally. So yeah, go do something on chain. I think that's
You can just do things.
you can
just do things.
You can just do things.
and you know what?
on chain.
You can give people feedback.
yes.
Like propose how it could be better. A lot of teams love that.
I did this the other day, and I feel like I've made a friend out of it.
Aw.
Coops Records. It's an app, you can go use it. I went and minted it's like an NFT drop by the artist Odessa.
Okay.
Do you guys know Odessa?
Yeah.
I'm such a millennial right now, but love Odessa. They like did like a special edition of Sun models that they dropped on Coops Records. And I minted it, and honestly, like, okay, like I'm stoked to own it because I love Odessa. But I was like, I don't really know, like now, like what do I do next here? Like blah, blah, blah. And I posted, again, like someone could have seen it and said, this is criticism. I meant it very constructively. Like I just posted on Twitter, like, oh, like I just did this, but like I don't know what to do next. Like I got airdropped some Coop for doing this, Coop token. I don't know what that means. And the guy who runs it, Cooper, just like immediately was in my replies and was like, oh, like what would you want to see? Like what,
Yep.
what could we do? So productive.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm Twitter friends with you now, Cooper. Pretty cool.
Shout out Cooper.
Yeah. But I think that that's so important to stay in the flow of these things.
Yeah.
Just go do things, give people feedback. If you don't like it, that's how we improve this stuff. And especially if you're building infra or infra for infra, if you're a chain of chains, you need to be in the flow of these things and know what's going on. It was really funny last week. Tolly, the founder of Solana, tweeted something. I don't know if it was a joke or not, that like he doesn't use the chain because of his position. And just like everyone was dunking on him. I find that hard to believe. I think that he does.
That reminds
but-
me of the
I-
Ethereum Foundation too. Like
Oh,
trying
girl.
to defend themselves.
Yeah.
Guys, we sell ETH and we have to pay people. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
But that's the
real.
difference
That's
between
real.
like having constructive criticism, like you said, because you are actually trying to use things.
Yeah.
As
it's 'cause
opposed
I
to-
care.
yeah,
Yeah. for real.
Okay, I'm just trying to get all of this like organized in my head. What it sounds
Sorry,
to me
I'm
like no, I'm
wandering.
sorry. I love the tangents. What it sounds to me like is almost like composability leads to interoperability. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
And it sounds like composability, which is the problem that developers are trying to solve from an infra tech perspective, that has mostly been solved. So the
Yes.
whole interop is solved thing that's what we're talking about. Is like composability has been solved.
I think I would say all of the components exist and are in varying states of maturity, but are coming along quite
Yeah.
quickly. I think that what we haven't done yet, though, actually, is assemble all of those components
Gotcha.
together. So, like, we have message passing protocols like LayerZero that could be, and you can use that as a standalone product today. It could be made more secure by using a confirmation layer like Espresso instead of relying on a centralized sequencer pre-confirmation. This is not just about LayerZero. This is every interop product that you use relies on a centralized pre-confirmation today. So like we have these two components.
Yep.
And Espresso is live in production. We're, gradually decentralizing the network further and further. We have chains integrated. You guys obviously have been killing it. LayerZero has been live in production. It has tons of usage and a great history and track record. We are not yet like working together yet, but like we're two components of this big product that solves interop. And there's so many examples of this, right? That I think that we're so close to just assembling all of those pieces.
So would you say the reason why there's haters out there that are like interop is not solved? And I see what, like from their perspective, it's like as the end user, there are still a lot of roadblocks when I'm trying to interact with a new app even on Solana. Like if I'm mostly interacting on Ethereum and I'm trying to use an app on Solana for the first time,
huge pain.
I swear like once a year, I see a cool new app on Solana that I want to use.
Was it Trump coin? I'm kidding.
How'd you know? and I realized that I have lost the private keys to my Phantom wallet. And so I spin up a new Phantom wallet. I put in another like $20 so I can just play around with this app. And I've done this once a year, like without fail. And so I get what people are saying with like interop is not solved from the
and then
end
you've got to
user
get enough tokens to pay the gas.
Totally.
And but then to get the tokens to pay the gas, you need tokens to pay the gas. It's like it's terrible.
So the gap between devs thinking that interop is solved and end users being like, no, what are you talking about? We're not even close. Like,
it's so interesting though, because like to me, this problem is because you just described a problem that touches 3 to 4 different projects and or protocols where end users have no direct line of communication with any of these teams. Like you said, you tweeted about an application with which the founder can respond to you and actually change that UX pretty quickly. And a lot of times, like, I mean, infra's famous for this, but it has a hands-off approach, right? Of like, no, we talk to developers.
Yes.
We don't talk to end users because we don't build user-facing applications. And meanwhile, the people who are actually struggling through these different hoops because they're trying to do something on chain, they're just lost. And then you churn and you do this again in 6 months to a year. And meanwhile, application developers are like, where are the users?
Yeah. No,
And
that's spot on.
It's like, I have been such an advocate for the past few years, and there have been little blips where I felt like we got close, but like, I want to see more, whether it's like hackathons or like user research, because a lot of the users in crypto are still employees of companies that build a product, right? Like, I don't need to go be a founder. I don't need to go like build an application myself in order to contribute by having used things because I care.
Yeah.
Right. And so it sounds like the gap there is just all of these infra projects not really communicating with each other, not working together.
They don't know how because they're unopinionated. And so it's like, again, oh, we can have all these different recipes of money Legos that can fit together, but it's theoretical because we need someone to take that and carry it on to go actually build it out into an application.
Gotcha.
And I think that work is starting to be improved with the investment into more like, we joke about having a narrative team and not a marketing team, but like we had a discussion about doing like a workshop where you can say like, hey, let's talk about what components go into a gaming application or like these different vertical, as opposed to just being like, hey, we gave you something that you can make anything with, and people are like, give me one example, and you're like, no, that's on you.
I think you're spot on that we need more hackathons. We need more emphasis on how this goes all the way up the stack into the applications themselves and the interfaces. That's when users will feel like interop is solved.
Yeah. And
For
like
now,
application
LDF and I will just keep
developers,
saying
I
it.
know, right? We'll just keep shouting into the echo chamber.
Yeah.
No, but I think like that's also the responsibility of a lot of these teams to go talk to people who, to your point, like don't need to care about the low level primitives that are, because we've spent so much time working on making sure they are secure and permissionless and immutable and all these things that we know are value propositions in theory, but in practice, for someone who like wants access to data, you're like, you don't need to do what we're doing. You need to do everything else. And I think that, again, like bringing these different groups of people who don't speak in the same places, the same like language is missing.
I think that's spot on. I think it is an interesting challenge though, because if we don't speak with enough nuance about what we're doing, what we're building as infra builders working on interop, then again, everyone buckets us together and it's
Totally.
like, oh, like Espresso and LayerZero, you guys are like competitors because you're both working
You're
on
like,
interop.
no.
Like, no. So yeah, I think it's a lot of it's a question of just education also
Yeah.
of developers, and then packaging it up and, as you say, bringing it.
Yeah, who do
To
we
app
need to go talk
builders.
to? Where do we find them?
Yeah. I think they're maybe at the Spork Castle.
Oh,
What is that? Where does that come from?
I have no.
A spork? I don't know.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've got
The
a spork.
ETH Denver,
Yeah,
like-
I have like a physical huge golden spork in my house.
Why? What?
From where? From East
Denver.
Denver. What
Why?
year?
I don't know.
Vintage.
Maybe, like a couple years ago.
It's so funny. I love that. I love that for you.
Toby gets one of those like bufficorn.
No
puffy-
way.
Or last year was
Oh
like
my
a spork
gosh.
whale.
I love
Did
that.
you see that?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I saw the mascot. I did not.
They make. I
I did not acquire one. Oh my
every
gosh.
year, and we
Okay.
acquire one for Toby every year.
Maybe
'cause
I'll
he's
get
our
one for my
child.
dog.
You should get one.
Can
Or
I
for your
just tell
child.
you? Oh yeah.
You have a real
yes.
child.
Oh my gosh.
have a
Yes.
real child.
I can also bring her toys. Great call.
She's like, I have a fake child. You have a real child.
Can I just tell you guys, I was speaking at ETH Denver yesterday, and I spent like a good 20 minutes wandering around different areas being like, do you know where the regenerator stage is? And everyone was like, oh yeah, like you just go take like a left at the Buffy corn
Oh
and then
my
follow the
God.
Rainbow Road. And I was
Follow
like,
the rainbow road.
I'm not kidding you.
Take a left at the 72nd chain.
Yes.
And
Yes. I was like, we are
Wow.
not serious people. This is too funny.
I
Yeah.
actually said interop is not solved for that exact reason because of like calendar Tetris
Yes.
yesterday.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, that's the kind of interop we need to actually be fixing because the tech for moving
Invent
value between
interop.
chains, we're good there,
Yeah,
guys. Like
totally,
we're really good.
totally.
Yeah. I was going to ask earlier, what do you think are like the major categories of problems within infra that need to be solved?
Oh man, I think it's the marriage of UX and security. I think that's what everything in crypto has always come down to, actually. And I think that you can think of it as this spectrum of trade-offs. It's like this optimization curve or function, the spectrum of trade-offs between how secure and decentralized do you want the thing to be and how user-friendly do you want the thing to be.
We were just talking about this
Yeah.
with Aditi and Nitya.
Oh, of course
And I
you
was saying
were.
how like there's always a trade-off, even
Yeah.
in like the Web 2 world, between how much you want to prioritize convenience versus how much you want to prioritize privacy and security. And there always seems to be like
Totally.
the people that would rather just prioritize convenience and I just want to be able to use my app and like log in and do all this stuff as quickly and easily as possible probably don't have the best security practices, whereas the people
For
that
sure.
really care about privacy and security are willing to jump through many hoops in order to ensure that they can maintain that privacy and security.
I'll say a few things on that. I think that it is an optimization function. I think that there are always trade-offs. I also think that sometimes the technology does just improve. And I think that this is something that we think a lot about at Espresso. We, again, are basically a chain that's complementary to Ethereum that offers better, more secure, faster interop. And we're taking advantage of just technology improvements, of state-of-the-art consensus that has been researched and implemented and tested over the last few years. There's still a trade-off there, right?
Yeah.
Like you're not going to get, certainly not today, you're not going to get sub-second latency with 10,000 nodes on a consensus system. But you know, you can do better than you could 10 years ago. I also think that we as infra builders and as app developers, for those listening, need to be thinking about how to create the best user experiences possible. And this gets at another part of this product that we're all collectively building. Like, shout out to my chain abstraction folks out there. I think that they're doing great work to try to package things up in such a way that you can have the best of both worlds. I think Apple is a great example of this, right? Like they are so security and privacy minded,
Yeah.
and yet it's actually a much simpler experience for users than Windows. And we have a long way to go to get to that standard in crypto, but it is the spectrum of trade-offs, but there are things that we can do on the technology front and on the user experience front.
Yeah. When you think about like all the different verticals that exist in crypto, like DeFi, all the way to gaming, to like on-chain consumer apps, creator apps, which verticals do you think can benefit most from just a refresh and, you know, really like devs focusing their time in figuring out Interop in that vertical?
Oh, interesting. I actually think DeFi probably is the most meaningful. I mean, in a way, I kind of think everything in crypto is somewhat DeFi. Like everything is destined to become a token, and if it's a token, then you can trade it and leverage it and whatever else. But I think that the notion of composable finance is so powerful. Maybe it's because maybe that's also kind of my background. I come from Wall Street. That was how I got into this space. Working on Wall Street, I think, kind of radicalized me, and I came across crypto. But, you know, on Wall Street, everything is such a walled garden. You need 18 layers of permission to do anything in TradFi. Even as a retail person, just like opening a bank account can be a huge pain versus the user experience of spinning up a wallet. Let alone if you're trying to compose things in TradFi. And I think a lot of people in this space do come from Wall Street, where they felt that pain, or they do come from a fintech kind of, you know, Web 2 fintech background, where they felt that pain. They felt the fact that things were not interoperable, things were not composable with each other. So that's where I see the most potential. I do think that some things like certain types of gaming chains, et cetera, like they can probably get away a lot longer with living in a silo. But I think even for those use cases, ultimately, they're going to want to compose with the rest of the Ethereum universe.
It's so interesting, though, because as you said that, I started to think about how we see, like, on one end of the spectrum, that's a value proposition for end users who feel that friction, right? Like, again, in the last conversation we had, we talked about how the average person probably has a couple of different credit cards, a few different bank accounts. Maybe they opened a 401k with a company that they were with. Maybe they have a joint account, like, and then you're adding a bunch of on-chain, like, versions of the same thing. And so, like, for an end user, you feel that, like, my money is my money. I should be able to have access to it when I want it. But for the companies that build those products, there actually is a lot of incentive for them to keep you within their ecosystem.
Within the walled garden.
And I feel that sometimes in crypto, where companies haven't necessarily figured out who their competition actually is. And so that's, to me, where sometimes the interop conversation feels like it's a little bit circular or falling flat, because it sounds nice in theory until all of a sudden, like, we see this a lot with chains specifically, right? Like, okay, I want people to easily be able to bring money into this ecosystem, but I don't want to talk about bringing it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so again, when like these conversations feel fragmented, where end users actually aren't centered, because that's where the leverage is, right? Like, if a user says, I need and I will only use something that I feel like I have control over. But if there's no users, then we can just keep pushing that out.
We need
further.
people to say that.
Yeah.
That's why we have to go be the users.
Wow, that's
totally
weird. It's almost like we should record something.
I think that that's spot on. I think that I think that we need to go be those users and advocate for those experiences.
What stage are we at with, like, because we're at ETH Denver right now, like, how are those conversations progressing? Like,
I think Solana is the best thing that happened to Ethereum for this exact reason. Because guess what? If we don't figure it out to make Ethereum composable again, Solana is going to keep eating our lunch as an ecosystem. So we can either be okay with that, or we can take a look at what the incentives actually are and think a little bit longer term and recognize that, no, we do need interop.
Yeah.
Even if you kind of want to build your own little kingdom or walled garden.
I mean, even Ethereum itself, right? Like, Diana, you mentioned it. It's easy for people who, quote, are in crypto to be like almost committed to one ecosystem, because you do have one wallet, and like, it is easier to use. And like, Solana to Ethereum route is like the most popular route in all of crypto right now.
It's the easiest one, and yet I still can't keep track of my Phantom keys because I use one app a year. And I was just talking to Brittany Laughlin, who works in the Bitcoin ecosystem, and she was like, talking about spinning up a Bitcoin wallet, and I was like, I literally, like, if you told me to spin up a Bitcoin wallet, I mean, she just told me how, but before I touch her.
I have not done that in
yeah,
years.
if you were like, make a Bitcoin wallet right now and like do this.
Start sweating.
But yeah, I didn't have
We're
no
like, we're
idea.
watching your
I
screen.
didn't have
How
no
are you going to do
idea.
it?
Like, I would need like half a day probably
Yeah.
to like figure that out.
I'm panicking.
That
Is Blue
reminds me of
Wallet
I
still a
watched a session of like onboarding people who have never used crypto before and like watching them struggle through
Oh
that
my
process.
gosh.
That would be us.
yeah.
Like
mhm.
it yeah.
Yeah.
Can I tell you? Okay, once a year, I like try and figure out what all of the wallets are and
Yeah.
whatever. And my husband has this running joke with me that he walks in and finds me like lying on the floor catatonic because I can't figure out
Yeah.
how to get into some godforsaken wallet that I'm convinced has generational wealth
Yes.
trapped in it.
Yes.
Convinced.
None of them do. Okay, but
I'm still waiting for that moment.
it's- oh my gosh, it's terrible.
Mhm.
It's we can't expect
We can't live
normies
like this.
to do this.
No.
And
We should want better for ourselves, you know?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
that experience of going cross chain, it's so relatable. I tried to participate in an Echo sale a few weeks ago. Have you heard of this platform, Echo? It's sort of like
Yeah.
crowd sales for equity. And people are saying it's the future of you don't have to go to venture anymore. You can just raise from the masses. Anyway, I needed to deposit into it from Base. And the last thing I tried to do was something on Polygon. And I was trying to get my money from Polygon to Base. And I literally missed the sale. It sold out.
I've heard this so many times.
It sold out in
yeah,
the time
like that
I
should
was-
not be that
Yeah.
difficult of a thing.
I've been working in this space for 10 years. I was like, I honestly had a little crisis. I was like, how am I still so bad at this?
Yeah.
This is my
It's not a you
confessional.
problem.
I was
It's
so
not a you
embarrassed.
problem.
I was like mortified. How am I still so bad at this?
Mark.
So interoperability is not.
Listen,
God.
the whole point is that the
God.
tech exists.
The tech exists.
Like,
Like it's there. We're so close. We're so close.
Don't go there.
Don't do us like that.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm just
free
trying
girl.
to make. I'm trying to make all the Jill haters not come after her because
That's
I'm like,
so
she's not a
true.
doomer. I'm gonna outdoom her
Yeah.
so that everyone
She's
can
like-
see what
she's
an
like, I'm the
optimist she
doomer.
is. Yeah, I'll
Actually.
take the hit.
Thank you.
I love it.
Perfect.
Well, I know we're coming up on time, and this is something we could keep talking about for clearly a long time. There's a long list of things.
Yes.
But if you had like one ask or like wish for the people working in crypto in order to move interoperability forward,
Yeah.
like what is it?
Oh, I'm just gonna earnest post here. I'm
Do
gonna
it.
be very earnest with this answer.
Earnest
I think just remember why you're here.
Mm.
Look, if you want to build, the fastest, slickest user experience for some application that does not need to be on a platform that's unstoppable and composable and permissionless and all of these things that we're building for with decentralization, please go do that in Web 2. You will have a much easier time. But if that's not you, if you do want your application to be unstoppable and composable and permissionless and decentralized, then remember that and take a good hard look at the stack that you're building on and make sure that it is those things.
Amazing.
Earnest post.
I love it, Jill.
Yeah.
Where can people find you if they want to
Oh,
follow
I
up
am
with you
unfortunately extremely online.
and like all your tweets?
Yeah,
and
you
not
can-
hate on you.
You can find me at Jill R. Gunter on Twitter.
Don't be mean to Jill. We will
Yeah.
find you.
We will find you. LDF and I will find you.
I'm also very online. I will find you.
Yeah.
Same.
When you're being mean, this is who you're
Yeah,
being
this is
mean
who you're
to.
being mean to.
Take,
Maybe
take
that-
a
I don't
good-
know if
a
that's-
long hard look at this.
Amazing. Well, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Jill.
Thank you both.
This is Between Two Chains, and Interop is solved.
Interoperability.
Boom.